Hey everybody, this is RBT coming at you with my Week 5 NFL recap video. If you saw my Titans Vikings post game video, I was pretty mad, and I apologize for that. But I had a rough afternoon for a little stint there. Had some unexpected things happen, and yeah, I just wanted to apologize for that. I mean, I didn't really do anything bad. It's just I really didn't say too much about the game. I was just frustrated. So yeah, just want to apologize to you about that. And let's get into this real quick. The only game on right now is the Saints and the Chargers, and I believe there's 3 minutes left. 3 minutes and 4 seconds, and the Saints are up by 4 points, and they're third and goal. So if they score a touchdown here, it's pretty much over. But starting off, the Dolphins beat the Bengals 17-13. This definitely was a shocker. The Saints are gonna have to settle for a field goal here. It was a shocker. I thought the Bengals were gonna win by more than probably 2 touchdowns, but the Dolphins surprised me. Especially with this game being in Cincinnati. Ryan Tannehill had a pretty good game. 17-26, 233 yards, or 223 yards rather. Reggie Bush he had a decent game, 20 carries, about 50 yards and a touchdown. Brian Hartline led the team with 59 receiving yards, and I don't know how Reggie Bush he got me a bunch of fantasy points. He is one of my key players this week. I think he got like 12 points, and I'm not sure really how he did that with only 50 rushing yards, but wins for the Dolphins. I'm sure they'll take it. I'm sure Dolphins fans weren't really expecting to beat the Bengals this week, but as my motto is, a win's a win. 17-3, 2-0, 99-0. A win's a win. It's all that matters. Probably the biggest upset of the day, the Indianapolis Colts over the Green Bay Packers. And this is really interesting because the Green Bay Packers now fall under 500, which is really unfamiliar territory for the Green Bay Packers and MVP Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers by any means didn't have a bad game. He was 21 of 33, 243 yards with 3 touchdowns. Also added about 60 rushing yards to his stats. Randle Kolb had 82 yards through the air, 1 TD. But Andrew Luck had that last drive that sealed the deal for the Colts. They absolutely shocked the world. Andrew Luck ended up 31 of 55, passing 362 yards, 2 TDs. Reggie Wayne had over 200 yards receiving and a touchdown, 13 receptions. A huge game by Reggie Wayne. If the Colts are going to have wins like this, they're going to have Andrew Luck and Reggie Wayne. Just with the injury to Austin Collie, they're going to have big games like this in order to win, especially against teams like Green Bay, because that's not going to happen every week. Colts fans know that, but they'll take every win that they can get, and it sucks for me to say as a Titans fan that the Colts have a better record than the Titans, and that's really sad. Baltimore Ravens improved to 4-1 with a win over the Kansas City Chiefs. They won this game. It was a really sloppy game, 9-6. No touchdowns in this game. Joe Flacco was 13-27, 187 yards, no TDs. Ray Rice had over 100 yards, rushing 102 yards. Anquan Boldin had 4 receptions for 82 yards. And Matt Castle was actually knocked out of this game. But before he was knocked out, he was 9-15, 92 yards. Jamal Charles had a pretty good game, 30 carries, 140 yards. And Jermaine Bowe had 6 receptions for 60 yards. Difference in this game, the reason that neither team scored a touchdown was the turnover bug bit both teams. There's a combined 6 turnovers in this game. It seemed like one team would get past the 50, and then as soon as they got past the 50, they turned the ball over. So, but like I said earlier, a win's a win, 9-6, 40-0. Win's a win. That's all that matters in the NFL. It could be different in college, but in the NFL, it doesn't matter. The New York Football Giants survive a scare against the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns roared out to a 17-7 lead in the first quarter, or the second quarter rather, And the Giants went on a 20-point scoring spree. I don't know if that's the right term there, but Victor Cruz had a career game. He had I think 200 yards receiving. I might be wrong. Hold on, that's gonna bother me. I hate it when I can't think of a stat, and I think I have it right, but I might be completely wrong. Either he had a lot of yards or he had a lot of touchdowns. Yeah, that's what it was. Not bad. I was completely wrong. Yeah, that's what it was. He had 3 touchdowns, not 200 yards. I got messed up there because I remember Victor Cruz got about 20 something fantasy points, and I thought it was a lot of yards, but no, he had 3 touchdowns, and that is a career day. That's not your everyday stat by a wide receiver. So a big game by Victor Cruz. He had 5 receptions for 50 yards with 3 TDs. Randle led the team with 82 yards receiving, but Eli Manning had a pretty good game. 25 for 37, 259 yards, 3 TDs, all to Victor Cruz. And Bradshaw had an absolute insane game. 30 carries, 200 yards with a TD. Brandon Weeden had a pretty good game. He was 22, 35, 291, 2 touchdowns. He's definitely improving throughout the season. That week 1 game and in the preseason week 2 game, he was really iffy. Did not look like a starting quarterback by any means, but he's getting a little bit better. But right now the Browns are sitting at 0-5, the worst team in football as of right now. But they're improving. Peterson had a pretty good game, 17 carries, 81 yards. So they're improving, like I said, but until it's going to take them a few more years and a few more draft classes to actually improve as a team. And I'm not sure if Brandon Weeden's answer at quarterback. So I'm pretty sure if the Browns at the first pick, they'll probably go after a #1 type quarterback to try to lead their franchise. But who knows? Moving on, Eagles and Steelers. The Steelers won this game 16-14. I honestly didn't know this. Steelers apparently got a last-second field goal to win the game over the Eagles. I'm sure Eagle fans are wanting to take off Michael Vick's head. He's been struggling, to put it nicely. It was 20 of 30, only 175 yards, 2 TDs. LaShawn McCoy led the Eagles with 16 carries, 53 yards. Big Ben was 21 of 37, 207 yards, no TDs. And Rashad Mendenhall had 14 carries for 81 yards. And Antonio Brown, 7 receptions, 86 yards. Eagles had 2 turnovers, which was pretty much the deciding factor here. It's a big one for the Steelers, puts them at 500 for the year. Eagles 1-2 away from their home turf. So I don't know how you feel if you're an Eagles fan, because you really don't know what to expect with Michael Vick week in and week out. It's either one game he'll be insane, have a great game. Next game he'll get bruised ribs and get hurt and be out for the game. And next game he'll throw 85 interceptions, or I'll just have a mediocre game like this. So if you're an Eagles fan, I don't know if you really can be confident on how you think the team's going to do in the rest of the year. But I don't know if that made any sense at all. But if with my perspective on the outside looking in, I'd say the Eagles are probably at 8, 9, 10, maybe 8, 9 win team right now. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It's late. It's late. Forgive me. Falcons improved to 5-0 after a scare from RG3 and the Washington Redskins. They pull out the victory after a big fourth quarter. Scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to win 24-17. RG3 was actually having a pretty good game. He was exposing that Falcon defense for the most part, and he got hurt on a really big hit. I think it was late in the third quarter, but his stats before he was injured, he didn't. Let's see, he was 10 of 15, 91 yards. Kirk Cousins, he had better stats than RG3, but that's because that one play Santana Moss absolutely burnt the defender and was wide open. I forget, it was like 80 yards, and that's why Kirk Cousins has better stats. But he also threw 2 picks, which basically killed the game for the Redskins. I mean, the Falcons are 5-0, but I think if RG3 doesn't get hurt, the Redskins will win this game more than likely. But I mean, if you're a Falcons fan, I mean, who cares about that? You're 5-0. That's all that matters. Stats for this game: Matt Ryan, 34 of 52, 345 yards, 2 TDs. Michael Turner, 17 carries, 64 yards, 1 TD. Tony Gonzalez had an absolute insane game: 13 receptions, 123 yards with a TD. Alfred Morris led the Redskins with 19 carries, 115 yards. So Alfred Morris is continuing his hot streak, but Redskins, I think, are playing these teams tough a lot, playing these teams a lot closer than people thought coming into the year. But I mean, coming into the season, people really didn't expect RG3 to be as great as he is. And as I'm watching, the Chargers are trying to go down the field with a minute and 46 seconds left. So I'll try to update you if this game goes final. Seahawks get the W over the Panthers, 16-12. It's probably a little bit closer than what the experts thought. Russell Wilson, 19-25, 221 yards, 1 TD. Marshawn Lynch, 21 carries, 85 yards. Sidney Rice, 5 receptions, 67 yards. On the flip side, Cam Newton struggled big time. He 12 of 29, 141 yards, 7 carries, 42 yards. Braden LaFell led the Panthers receivers with 3 receptions, 44 yards. I don't know what has happened to Cam Newton for real. Last year, the man was going off every single game, and it seems like right now he's looks like a rookie out there. Looks like a rookie that doesn't know what he's doing. So I hope. I mean, aside from being an Alabama fan, I think Cam Newton's a phenomenal athlete. I think he's a good guy. I don't know how to explain my feelings on Cam Newton, but I don't like to see people like that struggle. And I don't know. I just hope he can get his act together, because he's a lot better football player than what he's been doing so far this year. I don't know if it's like people are saying it's a middle thing, but we'll have to see if he can improve. I'm sure at some point in the season he'll start to return to his form of last year, and it won't come to surprise to anybody, because Cam Newton's always going to be Cam Newton. Holy crap, I didn't even see this. The Bears beat the Jags 41-3. Holy crap. Bears had 2 pick sixes in this game. Blaine Gabbert struggling as always, 17-33, 142 yards. Maurice Jones-Drew, 12 carries, 56 yards. On the flip side, the Bears, Jay Cutler had a pretty good game, bouncing back from last week, 23-39, 292 yards, 2 TDs. Matt Forte, 22 carries, 107 yards. And Brandon Marshall, the new acquisition from the Miami Dolphins, proven to be pretty well. 12 receptions, 144 yards, added along with a TD. 41-3. Good God. Come on, man. 28 points in the fourth quarter. Going into the fourth quarter, it's 13-3, and that's crazy for real. Wow. Going to the fourth quarter, I think it's a close game, 13-3. Then before you blink your eyes, it's 41-3. That's insane. But big win by the Bears. If you go back and I'll scroll up right here. You go back and watch the my prediction video for the NFC North. Had the Bears, I think, dead last, 4 wins. And what do you know? The Bears have 4 wins right now. So I was definitely wrong on my part, and I'm not ashamed to grow up. So congratulations to the Chicago Bears. Why is my foot going numb? Tennessee Titans. Oh Lord, lose to the Vikings 30-7. Matt Hasselbeck threw a pick as always. 26 of 43, 200 yards. with a TD. Chris Johnson had a career day, 15 carries, 24 yards. That's his normal stats, and that's ridiculous. Christian Ponder, 25 of 35, 258 yards, 2 TDs. Adrian Peterson, 17 carries, 88 yards. Percy Harvin ended up with 2 TDs, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. Had 8 receptions, 108 yards. The Vikings outgained the Titans 433 yards to 267. Both teams had 2 turnovers. And the big story in this game, other than the fact that the Titans absolutely suck, Javon Ringer was hurt pretty badly. It looked really serious, so I'm not sure on the official word about that as of just yet, but it did look really serious. I don't know if it's it looked like a season-ending injury. Probably a ACL tear, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, stranger things has happened. Patriots beat the Broncos 31-21. Tom Brady threw for 223 yards and a TD. Stephon really continues to impress people. 28 carries, 151 yards and a TD. Wes Welker had 13 receptions, 104 yards, 1 TD. Returning to his old form. Don't get me wrong, Broncos had a big game. Well, Peyton Manning had a big game. 31 for 44, 345 yards, 3 touchdowns. Willis McGahee had 51 yards on the ground, and Demaryius Thomas had 9 receptions for 188 yards. But none of that matters as long as you get the W. I mean, as long as you don't get the W. So, Patriots improved to 3-2. I'm sure Peyton Manning and the Broncos would rather be 3-2 than be on the flip side of that. But I mean, it's still a long season, long way to go. So I still think the Broncos make the playoffs some way or the other. So yeah, 2 more games to go over. I bet this is I'm gonna say 17 minutes and 32 seconds. Oh my God, that was really close. It's 17 minutes and 30 seconds now. Man, that'd have been crazy. 49ers 45, Bills 3. That's really all you gotta say about that. 621 yards total offense, 204. Good God. Alex Smith, 18 of 24, 303 yards, 3 TDs. Frank Gore, 14 carries, 106 yards. Michael Crabtree, the old Texas Tech Red Raider, 6 receptions, 113 yards. There's nothing else to say for real. It says it's a franchise record for the 49ers, 621 yards. So congratulations to the 49ers, improved to 4-1. Pretty crazy how their only loss so far this year is against the Minnesota Vikings. So it's weird. But the only other game, the Rams beat the Cardinals to give the Cardinals their first loss of the season, bring them back to normal, how they're supposed to be, how they were projected to be. Cardinals were shocking the world, so congrats to them on that. Kudos to them. But came back down to earth for the first loss of the year. Not saying that they're going to be bad the rest of the year, but they're definitely weren't the undefeated team like they have been showing so far. This game's coming down to the wire, 19 seconds left, so I'm going to hurry up and end this so I can watch this. But Sam Bradford didn't have the bigger game, 17 to 21, 141 yards. But Steven Jackson had a decent game, 18 carries, 76 yards. And yeah, I'm going to end this real fast so I can watch the end of this game. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already. As always, roll tide, go Sox, and go Titans to you. Have a great day.